Hello and welcome back to Life and Life Sciences, hosted by myself, Stephen Gannon. Joining me today on episode 5 is Thomas Carter. Thomas is the VP of Marketing at Vision RT. Never claimed to be a scientist myself, but from my understanding, this mid-level London-based med device company is combining the power of computer vision, AI across the radiotherapy space. So really excited to have you on, Thomas. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day. How are you? How are you keeping? How's things?
It's a real pleasure. Thanks for asking, Steve. Yeah, grand. Thank you. Very good. Very good. Just, coming into autumn, it's a busy time of year, I think, for most med companies. All the conferences are kicking off and, it's a good time for us. Hectic, but exciting, particularly in marketing, right? That's when the new...
Absolutely, yeah. Better to be busy than bored, I suppose, is what my father used to say to me. Well, no, look, great to hear. Obviously, the year is has been good. Good to hear that you're continuing busy towards the end of it. It'd be great to get an understanding. I guess if you could kick us off with a bit of an understanding into Vision RT, into your mission, your offering, and we can kind of go from there, if that's all right, Thomas.
That would be a great pleasure, Steve. So to begin with, putting us in context, I guess we all know, and we're all close to or have been close to someone who's been affected or even died of cancer, and in fact, 1 in 2 people around the world will at some point in their lives have cancer. What a lot of people don't know is that of those people with cancer, around about half need radiation therapy. And that's generally a very good thing. So radiation therapy is now far more curative than palliative. It's part of the cure for a lot of cancers. And that obviously makes it a very powerful weapon against one of these very serious diseases that we're all dealing with as a society. And the radiation therapy, obviously, it's high energy X-rays. They're going into your body. Ideally, they're hitting the tumor, and ideally they're not affecting and they're not hitting too much the surrounding healthy cells that you've got that you want to keep functioning. For example, in your lung, you want to make sure that your lung is undamaged, even if the tumor in it hit and potentially actually destroyed by the radiation therapy. So that's where Vision RT comes in, because of course one of the challenges that we have here is that patients move. Hopefully patients breathe. So if you're firing this very precisely targeted beam of radiation into someone's body and they move, then you could be hitting the wrong parts. So Vision RT looks at the surface of the patient, looks at about 20,000 points over the surface of the patient, around about 30 times a second, in order to make sure that that patient is in exactly the right position throughout their treatment. And if they move even by a tiny amount, even one of the things that I like doing is taking a piece of paper, and if you fold it in half, we can detect the movement, even if it's as small as that.
Wow.
So it's a phenomenal technology for making sure that the treatments are very precise and therefore effective and achievable. And we've done very well. So one of the things which I like talking about, and obviously we're sort of here to talk a little bit about the SGRT community, is when I joined Vision RT, one of the things I realized right from the beginning is this is a technology that really lives up to the hype. And the customers that we had at the time, it was a relatively small number, but all of them were absolutely on board and really believed in the technology, in the company, in the application of what we were doing. And so most of our marketing efforts now are around this concept of the SGRT community. So SGRT is surface guided, which is what we do, radiation therapy. And so every year we have 2 or 3 very large meetings with several hundred of the users of this technology coming together, and we have countless, I'd say probably 50 meetings a year, smaller local groups getting together. And that's not our company talking the corporate message, that's all customers talking to customers peer to peer and explaining how best to use the technology, where to use the technology, what the limitations of the technology are as well. We don't limit what they're saying. And absolutely, and that gives us the credibility that's allowed us to grow to with the leaders in the field by a very long way, and we continue to grow very rapidly. So it's very exciting. It's worked very well, and it's allowed us to have a huge install base of technology. So around about in the US, which is the sort of early adopting market, around about a quarter of all of the treatment delivery systems now have our technology on them.
Wow. It's incredible, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, it's working very well.
Yeah, absolutely. Making the world a better place a day at a time. Hey,
Absolutely.
incredible. And I guess to kind of feed into what you're mentioning about the SGRT community, obviously with those meetings and with the technology, there must be some great stories coming out around, either stories or where the tech has been applied. I know, do you want to maybe close us off with a light-hearted, lovely story to finish us off?
Well, I guess there's not so much that's massively light-hearted here. One of the great things, of course, is a lot of our patients do go on to live long cancer-free lives after treatment. Particularly in situations. One of the most common cancers, breast cancer, of course, it's in the news a lot, and if we look at breast cancer in particular, the left breast obviously is very close to the heart. So when you're targeting your radiation to hit the left breast, what you really don't want is to hit the heart. Our technology has been shown in a study to actually, we had a group in the US looked at treating a lot of patients, then following them up 6 months after, and seeing if there were any changes to blood flow around the heart, any effect of the radiation on the heart. In all the other studies that have been done before, there had been effects of the radiation on the heart from this from the radiation treatment. And obviously, long term, there's plenty of evidence that can lead to heart attacks and all sorts of things that we don't want to, we don't want to have.
Absolutely.
The study, none of the patients had any changes to their heart at all. So that's really heartening, and
it is.
Means a lot to patients.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the other thing that what we found is that because we're monitoring these 20,000 points on the patient, we no longer need to do something that radiation therapy used to always do, which is to put ink in tattoo form under the patient's skin at several points. And that was, of course, permanent reminders to the patient that they had cancer and that they had cancer. With our technology, it's just not needed.
Incredible. I wasn't actually aware of that, I've been fortunate enough not to have anybody suffer from any type of cancer, obviously, touch wood. But I wasn't aware of that. That's incredible. So that obviously, I guess, negates the whole fact of, having your skin covered in dots or whatever it may be, as well as, you say, a permanent reminder. So that in itself is an incredible story, I guess, isn't it? Leaving people with obviously mental scars, but outside of that, no physical, well, apart from, unfortunately, if the worst happens. But it's truly incredible. Yeah, it's great to see, obviously, making the world that bit better. Helping people out in a situation. It's great to spread the word as well. I'm sure there's a lot of people like myself in a similar position that weren't aware that, back in the day it was physically tattooed onto you. Hopefully it's not something I or anybody anybody watching ever has to experience. But should it come to a situation like that, I certainly wouldn't have any fears in having that technology used on me.
Completely, Steve. Completely.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I know you're a very busy guy, so I will let you get back to your day, let you go back to improving the life of unfortunate cancer patients. And I do really appreciate you joining, Thomas. It was great to get to know you. Great to spread the word of Vision RT. And I'm really excited to see what comes next.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Great.
Have a great day, Thomas.
Thank you. Bye.